Hi, this is Susan Blue Robot from susanbluerobot.com. I'm here today with another card making video. This time I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take Pop-Up Card Studio in another direction. This time I'm going to do a pop-up this way and a pop-up that way in the one card. So we'll get started. I had a request. Somebody wanted a baby's crib plus a chest of drawers as a pop-up, and it started me thinking, well, instead of having a flat chest of drawers or a flat crib, I wanted to take it a different way. So after 2 nights of thinking, I came up with this, and I thought it'd be good to do a video on it and see what else people do with a pop-up this way and a pop-up that way. So we're using Make the Cuts Pop-Up Card Studio, and then I'm going on to Make the Cut to put it together and show you how I put it together. Now I mentioned that I was going to make a pop-up this way and a pop-up that way, which means that I have to do 2 pop-up cards and join them together in Make the Cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work as I want the pop-up baby's crib on this side of the card, and say I'm going to work on about 1.5 inches as the pop-up crib. So I don't do anything on this side of the card, say at the 2-inch mark. Then I want to put a chest of drawers on this side of the card as a pop-up 1 inch from the back of the card, and just on this side of the card as a pop-up, as a landscape pop-up. So first off, I'll build the drawers. Now I could have just done the drawers and just brought them in, but I thought I'd show you how I got to doing the drawers. I want to bring in a chest, a square, and I want it 2 inches wide. Enter. And say I want it 3 inches high. Enter. So that's the start of my drawers. Now what I want to do is I want to give it some shaping at the top and some shaping at the bottom. So the best thing I thought to do was the trusty old brackets. So I'm using the Times Roman, and I'm using the bracket, which is just beside the P at the capital. And I go add. Now if you see that, you go, we'll turn that 90 degrees, and I'll make it a width of 2 inches. So it's starting to be the bottom of the bottom of the chest of drawers, and say 1 inch and see what it looks like. And we'll see what that looks like joined onto there. It just gives it a bit of look, and I can stretch it if need be up so it hits. No, because I don't like that, because I want that shaping there. Okay, and now I want to do the same sort of shaping up the top, so I'll do a copy of that and paste in place, and I'll take it up the top to give the top of the drawers the same sort of shaping as the legs. Making the drawers is just an extra thing. Now I go over here and align them all vertically. Then I say I do a weld. So I've welded them, and I'll just get rid of this little dot here. Oh, that's not very big, so we'll go over here. Yep. So I've got rid of that little dot. So this is going to be the drawers. I'll bring in, at this point of time, I'll bring in the top drawers, the actual drawers, but these get cut over in Make the Cut. I select that, rotate it 90, and I resize it to how I want, because I want 3 of them. So we go down here to duplicate, and we only want 3, and we go accept, and they will go into the over to the Make the Cut and then cut out and glued on afterwards. So first off, what we need to do is we need to, with this one, we need to crop the bottom to make sure that those brackets are properly anchored, and we need to give a crop this side and a crop at the same angle. You can see the dotted line has appeared, so we know it's the same on the other side. We might take that in just ever so slightly more. Up. It's a matter of just taking your time. Now what we do is we make sure that's down on the bottom. Now I'm not putting this in the center because I'm going to have the baby's crib on this side. I might shrink this, so I might select all that and I might just drop it in size. This part is purely how you feel you want it. We make sure it's on the bottom up. We make sure the drawers on the bottom plane, and we go to the top plane now. We use the Control Shift and roll up till we get to this level here, and we give a 2-point rec anchor at a 1/4 inch snap, a 1/4 and 1/8 inch snapping there, and there. And we've lost the top of the chest of drawers, so we just drop that down, down one, down to the bottom, and there we have it. So there we have our chest of drawers. Now, bear in mind that this is only the first part. This pops up at a landscape. So what we do is we select, we go back to this plane, we select these drawers, we go copy, we go over to Make the Cut, and we go paste in place. So there are drawers that fit perfectly on our project, and then we go project, export, project render, render to SVG, and we go baby room 01. So we take this now over to Make the Cut, and we go import SVG, baby room 01, and there we have the first part of our card. Now this is going to be a bigger card. It's going to be cut on a 12 by 12. But first off, what I'm going to do is put this on a y-axis of 1 and a x-axis of 6, because I've got to bring in the next bit of the pop-up to put on this side. Now what we do is we go over and we start a new project. Now this was 5 inches by 5 inches. We want to start a new project, here, 5 inches by 5 inches still, and we're going to come out, say 3 inches, enter. Right, now we're going to build this, we're going to build a baby's crib from here going back, so it will end up to be a portrait. I like to design as landscape because I find it easier with me arrow keys and things. So I'll show you what I'm doing, and then if you like to design in portrait, yeah, you're quite welcome to. Now what we'll do is, first off, we'll build the end of the crib. I get this half rounded, and we want that to be mirrored because I'm going to have it built this way. I want it 1.5 high, enter, and say I want it 4 inches. We'll see what that looks like. Oh no, that's too high. We'll go 3 inches. 2.5. I don't like it. We'll bring it back down here because I don't like it so. Alright, say with 1.5 high and 1.5, and then I might just add to the bottom a 2-point rec, snapping of an 1/8 of an inch, and I'm just going to add a little bit on the bottom. And we weld them together. That looks better. I'm happier with that. So, and we aren't going past this 2-inch mark because this 2-inch mark is where the two cards are going to be joined. So we put that on the bottom plane. We've got to give this some legs, so I bring in another shape for the legs, and I want to bring in this one here to give it some shaping. Now, and I want to do 2 of them, so I copy, paste, and I put another one on this side, and I make sure that they're lined up this way, vertical center, and now what I do is I weld all them together, do a weld. Now I want to now check that the print preview is working, that I've got this, so the dotted lines are down here, so it's now connected to the line, to the side of the card. Now I'm just going to do a plain solid end on my crib, but you can do whatever end you want. Now I use the space bar and I get to this plane here, and I build the cagey part of the crib. I bring in this, and what we'll do is say we want that's, we'll build it sideways then, so we'll turn this 90 degrees, and maybe a bit narrower. We don't want the baby's heads to be able to be poked through though. That's the thing. And we do a duplicate of that, duplicate, and And what do we want? We want say about 10. We go, maybe we might have a bit more spacing, and we take it down 1. Yep. Okay, then we go accept. So now we have what's looking like the sides of the cage part of the crib. Then what I need to do is give myself a 2-point rec on this side to this side, and the same up the top, a 2-point rec here to a 2-point rec there. Oh, that might have been a bit too. Might make this one just ever so slightly smaller. So we just bring that in a bit, and we'll just bring it down a bit. Now, with all them, I want to now select them and do a weld. And we'll check the print preview. And we have the score lines here and the score lines there. So that is looking like the crib. So what I do now is I take a copy of that, over to make the cut, do a paste in place, and I want 2 of them. So I do another paste in place. Now I want 2 of them because I want one for the back of the crib and one for the front of the crib. And I go and now get I hit my panic button, which I call this my panic button, and I hold the D key down, select this one. I do a copy of that, take it over to make the cut, do a paste in place and a paste in place. So I've got 2 of them, one for each end of the crib. Even though our pattern has only one end, we're going to cut one of these out and put in behind the here on the actual card backing. So now what we do is we'll do one more quick print preview. That's perfect. And we go render, export, project render, rendered SVG, and we'll call this baby room 2. Enter. Then what we do is we go over to make the cut and we bring in that SVG. Bring in the SVG, baby 2, turn 90 degrees, and we line this up. Now the reason I did it as a 5x5 card is if I line this one up on the 1-inch X plane and the 1-inch Y plane, I know that this center is dead center in the where the other card begins. Now the fun begins. This becomes a pop-up that goes this way in, and this becomes a pop-up that goes that way up. Now, what you have to do is just one little bit more tweaking here. So is this one. If you try to fold them both the same way, they're going to, both different directions, they're going to intrude on each other. So what we've got to do is we've got to take the 2 inches from this side of the card, just here, and put this direction, and we leave the 3 inches on this side of the card there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and bring in a square and I'm going to bring in a second one. Now, first off, this one is going to be a height of 5 inches high by 2 inches wide, and we want that on an x-axis of 6 and a y-axis of 6. We're going to select that plus this one and do a Boolean join. We don't want that one, we want that one. So it's taken away that section that we're going to put over this side, and we go apply. Cancel that for the moment. We take this, we do a break apart, then we do the same thing. The reason we did break apart is because this goes crazy here. So we do that again. We go a Boolean join, and we do a difference of B, and we go apply. Then what we do is we take this one and we do a width of 5 and a height of 2. And I'm going to do 2.02, enter, because what I want to do is have it just overlapping there. We want it on an axis, y-axis of 1 and 6, and I'll just zoom in here, and I will just tweak that with my arrow keys up so it's now overlapping this one here. So I take this one and do a weld. Now you see the starts of a card. We take this one and we do that break apart, and now we take just the outside of this card, holding the shift key down, take the outside of that card and we do a weld. So here is very much the start of our card. This will now be folded up there, then this gets folded in and this gets tucked under the bottom, which now your card will look like this when cut, and when it's folded, this edge of the card will fold up, and then this edge of the card will fold in, and this 2-inch card here will then tuck around the back to make it a sealed card. And then when it opens, here's your full floor of the card, and you've got the full corner view of your pop-up. One pop-up going this way and one pop-up going that way. Decorate it. This is the pieces that we brought over to cut here. Here's your drawer pieces, so they're all for decoration later. You can go ahead and put all your score lines. Oh, you've got to make a score line for across here. This one here, across here, because that needs a score line. So other than that, you cut your card out and you fold it. This one gets folded that way, so it folds down there. So this one always gets folded first, because then this goes longer than your chest of drawers, and that gets folded, and that gets folded up, and there you have your card. Now, the best way I found to do this is I cut, instead of putting it in folded card, I cut a card that is 5 inches by 5 inches for the back of this card, a 5-inch square by 5-inch square for this bit here, and then a 2-inch by 5-inch for this square here, and and a 3" by 5" for this square here. So we'll just do that. We want a new thing, and we'll bring in 2, 3, 4. So this one becomes 5" by 5", and that's for one side of the card, in the outside part of the card. This is 5" by 5", and that becomes the other side. So we cut one of them, and we glue that on. Now this one becomes 5" high by 3" wide, and this one becomes 5" wide by 2" high. Now these are all the pieces that I cut for the outside of my card, and I need the pieces on the outside of the card because when I cut, I have all these bits and I won't have any room. I haven't got any room to put the back of the cradle in properly. So I glue the pieces in place. I glue that on there. I glue the piece onto this bottom bit, and it also gives it a heaviness weight, so the bottom of the floor will sit down nice and neatly. Then I put a piece, my 5 by 5 piece, onto there. So I have this. I need just one more piece on the back here, and as you can see, the cradle's cut out, but now using the same colour you can't really see that, and I will put the contrasting colour at the back there. I put the next one on, and there I have my little room as a start. I cut all my pieces out of a contrasting colour, and I start adding them in to the back of the cradle, so that looks like that. Then I put my fence around it, and then one on the back as well. So that looks like the cradle. Please excuse the cardstock I used, but this is the 9th tryout that I cut for this one. And then I decorate my front of my chest of drawers, and there I have my card all finished. And you can decorate it, add little toys, add little pictures on the wall, add nice wallpaper. It's entirely up to you, but at least at the start, and I'd love to see what you come up with a pop-up this way and a pop-up that way in the one card. This has been Susan Blue Robot at susanbluerobot.com. I hope to see you soon. Please visit my blog for many more videos. If you'd like to purchase Make the Cut or Pop-Up Card Studio, if you use a link from my blog, you'd help support my blog. Thanks for visiting, and bye for now.